What is happening, Blades? Welcome back to the Blades Ramble, and we're back again with another brilliant interviewee. I'm really looking forward to this one. I seem to say that every time, but I wouldn't get him on if I didn't want to talk to him, would I? So this one is the pioneer of Sheffield United fan channels, and I'm going to get all into it with him because the man that started it all, Jonny from Shoreham View. Welcome, pal. How are you doing?
How do? I'm not too bad, mate. I'm a bit good. I can't hear it. I wanted to hear it. I wanted to Ramble on as we got going.
No, yes, okay. We had that in at end. I have to edit that in. I can play it for you later, don't worry.
I love it.
Yeah, that's the highlight of my channel, unfortunately. So there you go. So how's things, mate? All right.
Yeah, not bad. I'm a Sheffield United fan, so used to this kind of start to the season, aren't we? We're in it for love, not the glory. So as is. So yeah, I'm not too bad.
Nice one, mate. Right, well, I'm going to get us started by asking, because you were the pioneer of the fan channel, what inspired you to get into YouTube and sort of make it a Sheffield United fan channel?
Oh, I suppose the quick answer to it was, I started off making videos on tape as a kid. Everybody loved Jackass, so that involved me throwing my friends off things, me jumping off things.
I don't that surprise me.
Well, we're all kids once. Went to college, did all the media stuff, learned how to get tape to a computer. Because when I did it at home, it were all on Windows Movie Maker. If anybody remembers them days, they were the days. learned how to use like what they call the professional stuff, which was all like Final Cut and stuff like that, which I can't stand. And then kind of fell out of love with it a little bit and didn't touch video again for years and years and years. Went off, got a job, put some money in purse. Get a business, get a kid, do all that kind of stuff. And now I'm just miserable, like genuinely miserable. And your escape were only on a Saturday. So you go and watch United, that was your escape from the rest of the world. Because you couldn't do anything else. You couldn't watch anything else for United because all we got were Blades player on YouTube. The dun, 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 5 seconds highlights. That's it, done for the week. And I don't think it was the club's fault. I think it was just one man and his dog. And he would do it best he could with what he had to work with. And I thought, there's nothing for us. All these other football vlogs, and it's kids filming their feet as they walk with like some short, happy, twerpy music, and it's like this ain't me. So I tried to change career, start the Shoreham View because I was learning journalism. Found out straight away that weren't for me. We're going to do sports journalism? No, we do politics here. That's me at door. Bye bye. And then I got a bit annoyed with all the videos and stuff that were out. So I made Dare to Dream, which was obviously the cup run under Clough. And it took off. I thought, I quite enjoyed making videos again. They were quite nice. Wonder what other United stuff I could make. And I thought, I'll do a little vlog to Spurs. It wasn't the best one. It were a bit too vloggy, if that makes sense. A bit too much like the old-fashioned kids vlogs. Yeah, I thought, I can do better. And it suddenly merged into what we got now. And the media department at Bramall Lane now they've built a force to be reckoned with. They are amazing. Terence, when he was there, they had one of the best editors around. The lads there have done a great job. And I can't take any credit for it, but I'd like to think that they saw little Burks like me making stuff on the internet and thought, we're missing out here. Yeah. And that's led to it's led to content that the whole club can get behind and all the fans. But Shoreham View's done a lot for me. It's led to a career for me now. Not doing just Shoreham View, that's just still a hobby, but it's led to me taking the camera out and doing stuff professionally. It's saved my life on 1 or 2 occasions, which has been brilliant. Anybody knows who's struggled with mental health out there, they'll know that having something to kind of fall back on, be a comfort zone, put all your energy into, it can be a lifesaver. And it's done that for me. So yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way, apart from maybe 1 or 2 trolls on the internet that need to go live.
We'll come to that, mate. Don't you worry.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah, I tend to mention it more than I want to, really, because it's not about being negative. It's just a reality of what we're dealing with, unfortunately. Yeah. But speaking at Shoreham View, it's sort of grown into a whole cast of characters now, hasn't it? And I appreciate everybody's just being themselves, but everybody falls in love with the individuals that you regularly showcase. So I've got Jonny, Kev, Ruth, Rob, all of them, Kenneth. So did they just organically become involved, and the more you just filmed them as part of the vlog, they just come into their own, I suppose, and conscious decision to get them involved.
One of the things I saw with the vlogs early on were as daft as it sounds, I don't like being on camera. I had this whole cast of characters that I've known for years and years. So obviously, Kev's my dad. I've known Ruth since I was 13. Rob's my uncle. Kenneth, I've known since I was 7. Jono's, I've known Jono a while, but recently we've got really close. We had previous characters on there. I'm not going to sit on live internet and badmouth them. We've just drifted apart. It's just as it happens. People change. Things change. But I'm lucky in the fact that we have got this, and I'm going to call them a cast of characters because they are. They're family, they're friends. But to you guys out there, that's what they are. They're a cast. And I just wish that Shoreham made money so I could pay them because they deserve it. Because without them, it's just me and Jono spouting into a camera. And then without Jono, it's just me going, hi. You know what I mean? Without them, Shoreham is nothing. And I can't thank them enough for that. That's why the other day I got so protective. I'm not going to say who or what the comment was because I'm not going to give it any attention. But somebody somebody aimed a dig at me. I'm a big lad. I've gone through a lot worse than what some idiot says about me. But when you make a dig about them, I get really protective. And I used to bite back and I used to argue. And I just realised, just don't give them what they want. Just delete them, delete the comment, don't engage. And I think that just shows how close we are as a group because we are family first.
Yeah, absolutely right. There's not more important, mate, than family, and that can extend to friendships.
My little boy, he loves being on there. I'm very hesitant to put him on sometimes. I'll get a little clip here and there, but it's for that reason. He loves it. He wants to take over. He's like, when you stop doing it, I'm like, what do you mean stop doing it? I'm 35. I'm not 60, mate.
Honestly, I've got twin girls and they're both 7, and neither are that interested at minute bracket. Just looking at it from a dad of young kids' eyes, that's how I thought you were doing it because I see your lad on, but not a lot. So it's like I want to include him. I'm desperate to include him in some ways, but I also want to protect him by not having him on all the time. So it's like a balance. Yeah, it's tough because he'll be desperate to be involved and be part of it with his dad and his family, and he's part of the day, obviously. But in terms of vlog, it's tricky, isn't it? Because this time will come where I'm sure you feature him every week in 5 years, but. It's So anybody that's watching this will know all about Shoreham View, but I genuinely think, mate, you make the highest quality videos out there. And listen, give me a little bit. I've said that once, but it's nothing to do because they're all different types of content. But in terms of, you can tell you're a professional videographer, and how you put things together is always really smooth and professional. And it's something for me to aspire to as a complete layman in this game. And I suppose that leads me on to the myth about fan channels all sort of scrapping to be top dog and they get more views than you and they're better than you or you're better than them and all this sort of thing. And I think a lot of people, there's a misconception. I hope we're doing a little bit now to sort of squash that because it's not a thing. I know your mates with Nick, we all talk to each other, we all support each other. I think we provide different types of content as well. But do you feel the same in terms of, look, I mean, trying to get the message across is more difficult than actually anything else. Do you know what I mean? That we're all on the same page.
There is 100%. I mean, I think that common myth, and everybody seems to want to go straight away to, it's Sheffield United way versus Shoreham View. It's like, 1, completely different types of content. 2, Nick, brilliant bloke. 3, Nick, Hal, 2 brilliant blokes. Why would I not get on with him? And if I were going to have a rival with anybody, it'd be with Travelling Blade because he does vlogs. And guess what? I spent all yesterday filming with him. So it's just madness. I don't get where this comes from, where there has to be one to rule them all, and it's always a competition for viewers and subscribers and Twitter followers, and it means nothing. It's nice to have some followers. It's nice to have some views. I've always said, if I have 10 subscribers and 10 people enjoy what I do, I'm helping 10 people get through whatever they're getting through.
We're not doing it for money, are we, mate? Listen, I could understand if we were all on at the same time and you could only watch us at that time, there might be more of a rivalry. But just because I subscribe and watch Shoreham View don't mean I can't directly after that watch Sheffield United Way and subscribe to them as well. Do you know what I mean?
You see it on S2. I have got my own things with S2. It's a great platform for people who want to chat on message boards. It's not for me. I find 40% of it's quite toxic on there. Because you do get a lot of that on there. It's like, I don't watch this because I watch this, and I don't support them because I support this. It's like, well, good for you. You're an idiot. Do you know what I mean?
We'll support each other. So it's, and you'll get that where people have certain tastes. I know that you have levels of video, don't you, in terms of, look, this is adult content, so be mindful that there's swearing in this one, and some it'll be anyone can watch. Yeah. So some of them aren't for everybody, and my type of content might not be for everybody. Somebody might much prefer Ben's stuff with Travelling Blade, and absolutely fine. But I don't want anybody to ever think that, oh, well, I'm desperate to overtake Travelling Blade, or you're trying to catch Nick, or whatever. It's not about that. It's not. It's never been about that. And don't get me wrong, we all want to be successful and grow our own channels and get better at what we do. But I love dipping into other channels and seeing what we're doing and what each other are doing, and you know what your take is on it compared to mine. And so I think it's interesting to have them contrasting views. And you're always very opinionated, which I appreciate. I don't like a fence sitter, and you're certainly not that part. So,
I think with me, I'm sure on View, especially on Beer and Breakfast, I'm very conscious that it's my personality turned up a few levels, because you have to, because otherwise I'll not do anything on camera. I'll just sit there and just go, So you have to, you kind of have to turn your normal personality up a little bit, and that winds some people up. And I get that. That's fine. On a vlog, that's 100% me. That's me. That's me winding my family and friends up. That's me kicking off because somebody's made a misplaced pass, and then that's me absolutely crying because I love the bloke who's made the misplaced pass because he's then gone and scored. That's a football fan. We're the most fickle bunch of people in the world.
Mate.
I'm never scared to have an opinion, but I'm also never scared to go, oh, I got that wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to have that other side to it. That, you know, I mean, a weak example really, but I called out Eki for signing Osborne up for another year. He will probably his best players for the first 3 games till he got injured. So, you know, that I'm not saying I'm not wrong, or I'm wrong on that, but you know, I'm not away. So it's one of them. You've got to,
a lot of people as well, they want to look at, like, if you don't rate a player, like Ben Osborne looks like one of the nicest kids in the world. Yeah, probably a great laugh to have. Even Terence said, one of the funniest kids in changing room. And that's great. But when people seem to forget that when you talk about performances, you can't be sentimental.
Absolutely right. And it's certainly nothing personal. You know,
exactly.
I were a huge advocate of getting rid of Billy Sharp in summer. That don't mean I'm happy. It don't mean I'm happy to see that one of the best players we ever had leave us. It's just the fact that Father Time has caught up with him, in my opinion. And, you know, it's always going to be unpopular in certain circles because of what he's given to the club. You could say the same about John Fleck now. Anybody that says John Fleck is a Premier League player is holding on to his past glories, in my opinion. So it's sentiment over, you know, fact. So
I think it happens a lot with our fan base as well, because we are quite an emotional fan base. Yeah, I know. I'm an emotional bloke. You know, emotions I go through in a single football match. You could, if they put an heart monitor on me, I think I'd be getting. They think he died 3 times. Do you know what I mean?
I'm the same, mate. It's frightening, isn't it? How you let it take over you sometimes.
Yeah. Well, like with the Billy Sharp thing, you're right. He did catch up with him. My only argument to keep him we're short on strikers and we need somebody to be next to young players. But again, you look at that, and whilst that is a bit of a, that makes a point, it's still quite sentimental, and I accept that.
Yeah, it is. It is. You touched briefly, and we won't harken too long on this, mate, because it's, you know, we don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but because we could, like, you know, if we're having a serious conversation, because it's a serious topic, but social media abuse and things like that you sort of mentioned, and that it's affected your mental health in the past. Is that something you want to touch on at all?
It's not so much nowadays, because with me, as I said, stuff's happened in my life where somebody saying mean stuff online does not bother me at all. But I hate, and I mean hate, seeing it directed at people that I like. Yeah. I spend more time having a go at people for. I remember when Travelling Blade put some out a while back, a few years. I don't bring it back up because I don't want it resurfacing. Yeah. But he stopped vlogging, and I thought that was the worst thing ever. And anybody, like, I fell out with a few people in my own circle that you don't see in vlogs anymore, because they were just piling on that. Like, why are you doing that? This kid's just living his life. This kid's doing what he enjoys, and he's made something that some people think, oh, it's a bit cringy. Well, so what? Aren't we all in his life? You've done it. You put 18 Facebook posts about how you've split up with your baby mama, and then you're back with her, and then you're back with her, and then you're taking a piss out of some kid for singing a song. It's bollocks. Yeah. So it's one thing that gets me with this kind of thing is we all these are the same people who give this abuse out, who then tweet out, "Oh, it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month," or "It's Suicide Awareness Month." It's like, oh, you having a laugh? People need to either make their minds up. They're either in it for some banter, and we all love a bit of banter. We can all get behind a bit of banter because we do it to each other week in, week out in pub. Things me and my mates call each other because we're mates and we're allowed to. We know where there's a line, we cross that line, and then we know when we've gone too far, and then we buy each other a pint, have a hug, and it's great. But some random online, it's Mark the Pig, I can't say his name, a certain pig who lives in Pittsmore.
Yeah.
He craves it in and then offers people out fights, and he's scared. Some people say something back to him, and there are some people online that are maybe 13, 14 that'll get genuinely scared that Mr. Pittsmore man are going to come for him. And it's balmy, and this is online. Blokes need to be not kinder to each other. We just need to accept the fact that we're all different. We're not all the same. We're not one size fits all. Because I enjoy you doing something, don't mean you have to enjoy it. Because we all just need to just be a lot kinder to each other and just stick to good, kind-hearted banter. Because I'll take banter all day long.
Completely agree. Because you don't like his stuff, don't watch it. You know, you don't have to go on and slate him for it. It's just
exactly
not your sort of thing. So, because other people clearly do enjoy it. So, it's one of them things. I get what you said, and again, it's not something I'll harken on too much. But you said at one point that Shoreham View saved your life. I completely sort of feel that as well. I needed a focus when my mum died, and I threw myself into this new project at Blades Ramble because I always talk rubbish about United. Let's just do it, you know, and vent my frustrations about the club and have a focus. And it's grown into something that I'm really proud of. And I assume you meant something along similar lines in terms of when you're having hard times in your life. It's a hobby and it's a passion, and it's not necessarily a business because it's not what you do it for. You want it to be the best it can be, but it's United in it. It's United and interacting with other fans and just getting your feelings out there about what's going on.
I mean, during lockdown especially, luckily got parents who live near me, so during the first bit of lockdown, went and lived with them. So I think I'd gone mad otherwise. When I got to see the kids every other week, because obviously they have like the bubbles and everything that they're in.
Yeah.
But then, like it was like a second lockdown, weren't it? But it was like a soft lockdown. But we're still playing behind closed doors. Couldn't go out and film anything. Couldn't do any vlogs, and that's how beer and breakfast started. But it started out with me sat like this in my old bedroom in my old flat. I'd just come back from like Finland and Italy, or on my own. And you're seeing some of them videos. I'm not quite myself. I'm emotional, especially when Wilder got sacked. Jesus, I got slated for that video. Again, if you don't like the content, and I was in an emotional place, I kind of lost myself, and I got over emotional about it. I accept that, but some of the stuff that got said, back to the mental health side, it was if I'd not been through stuff previously, that could have tipped somebody. If that was somebody else in the position I were in, and they didn't have coping mechanisms I've had to learn over the years, that could have tipped somebody over the edge, and that makes me sick that people can be like that. If you don't like it, you can say, I don't like it. This isn't for me. That's fine. It's when they go personal after that. Like when Shoreham View first started making the vlogs and everything, if I didn't have that to fall back to, I went through a pretty hard breakup. It happens. People drift apart. I learned some things about my family, about my jet, everything, all piled on at once. And if I didn't have Shoreham View to throw myself into, I don't think I would have made it through that point. There were a few times I ended up at Northern General. I'm not got too much into it. I just don't see people need to know everything, but I nearly wasn't here. And having United, having the people I met through Shoreham View, having my friends, family around me, that got me through. And I think if I didn't have Shoreham View, became a way for me to kind of say, even during lockdown, I can kind of bring people to me without me having to go begging for help, if that makes sense. Because as blokes, we don't ask for help, do we?
No, we don't. And it's becoming more accepted now, but there's still a bit of a taboo around it. And let's be right, mate, you are a roaring success as to what can happen in terms of having a focus, pulling yourself through a really difficult time, and look, you're out on the side now, thankfully. And there'll be days that are still challenging, and I have the same.
Definitely.
But you know, you're out the other side, and it's a strong message to people. I think that you can, even if you are low and you feel like you're on the floor, you can pick yourself up, and there's people around you. So, anyway, back to the footy, mate. So, I'm going to fire in some. Well, we'll start with your best away day. What's your best away day from which through?
See, the really easy answer would be to go for bouncing day.
Yeah, it would. That's an easy answer.
It would. It's an easy answer, so I'm not going to. And plus, I'm its first 2 goals, as you've seen on the vlog. Ugh. Thanks, South Yorkshire Police. Great stuff. I'm going to go. And I think I were only nip. I were only about 10 or 11, something like that. It were 98, 99, Notts County away in Cup. Winter time, so it was starting to go from day to night time, went to extra time. Wayne Quinn got sent off for booting a ball at an advertising board. We were losing. We're in a replay. And Marcelo scores. And it was my first ever, I'd been to an away game, but this was the first one I remember. And I were at the front where you'll know him from, obviously, Shoreham View with Neil and Tricky and all them. We're down at the front and Marcelo's in front of me. I've got my arms out. I'm about to hug him. And about 16 people pile on top of me. And I'm at the bottom of this little heap. Grown men, I'm getting stamped on here. It could have been really bad. But I'm there on the floor going, yeah! And that I think that was probably my best because that were it. It was injecting it into me. It's like, this is what you want to do. This is what football is. You're in pain. You're in agony. You got that close from touching a football player. And now you've got grown men standing on you. This is great.
Give me more of this. Yeah. And from that moment, I were in love.
That were it. So we only filled half the stand as well. So I don't know where all these people came from. I think we got a 2,000 allocation. We sold 1,000. And they were me and my friends in this little group at the front, about 6 of us. And that's why Marcelo came running to us. Yeah. And then just all these people just went, woof. Oh, mate. I get goosebumps. Seriously.
Yeah. It's great memories, isn't it? It's great memories. Right. Shifting tack a little bit before I jump into some quick fire questions, if you like.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Prince Abdullah?
Oh, God, this is a minefield, isn't it?
Yes.
On a personal level, never met him, so I can't comment. And I will continue to say that. Nick and Hal have. They say he's a great guy. I'll take their word for it. Never going to judge somebody on a personal level. I can only judge him on what he does for the club. I respect certain things he's done. Mm-hmm. I don't respect how he can be political and go back on his word sometimes.
Okay.
I will always say I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in transfer windows because he had this season got rid of his arguably 2 best players. I know people sometimes don't class Sandra as the best player. He's brought some in. My issue with it still remains. It's all happened very late. So less time to gel.
Agreed.
But he's brought them in. People go, oh, well, McCabe wouldn't have brought them in. And it's like, well, I'm not comparing him to McCabe. To me personally, picking between McCabe and what he used to do and how I feel about the Prince, we're picking which bollock I wanted lopping off. Which one can I live with that? I'd like to see him sell up and I'd like to see him move on. If he sold up now while we're in the Premier League, he was in charge and got us back to the Premier League, he goes out on a high. He'll have mixed opinions on him, but that's better than a lot of chairmen at Sheffield United got. You're never going to be universally loved. No, if a guy came in and pumped in 120 billion and we started winning everything, there'd be fans that hated him for turning us into a plastic club. Do you know what I mean? You can't please everybody. My opinion on the Prince means...
It's not just Blades, is it? That's every club.
Yeah. My opinion on the Prince means very little in the grand scheme of things. But it is still my opinion.
Absolutely right. And more than entitled to it, mate. I think time will look favourably on him. I think when he leaves, I think we'll look back at it as a successful reign.
If we're still in the Premier League when he sells up, it'll be a favourable reign.
Yeah.
If we go down again, looking at the trouble we nearly got in if we hadn't come up this season, it could take a very different turn. Which is why it'd be easier for him, it'd be easier for us if he found somebody who weren't phone jacker to buy the club.
It's an interesting one because I suppose you've praised him in transfer windows, but then by the same token, we were in a bit of a financial mess because he held on to them good players. Would you have sold Tander sooner to balance the books in champ and give us less of a chance to go up?
No, that's why I respect what he did. I can't say I'd do it because I've never been in that position. We can all have an opinion and say I would have done this, I would have done that. Until you're running that,
That's
So
right.
you're running Sheffield United. You don't know what you'd do, and I respect what you did. It took a lot of bottle to do that, and I'll always respect people showing some bottle.
Yeah, I don't think we get promoted without Liman and Die.
No.
So I think that's what's got
or Sander.
Yeah, Sander. Yeah, for the games that he turned up in, Sanderberg were unplayable. So and that's always been the issue.
Yeah, I always think with Sander, if you play him further up the pitch, he's phenomenal. I think what the problem was, we kind of saw him as a Norwood player. That's how Burnley are playing him. It does not suit him. In Belgium, Bell 8 points going down. I tell you, Sander Berger in Belgium is used to playing soft, strokey passes from that position.
Yeah.
And it don't work in English football. He has to be. I said for the minute I saw him, says he's got to put more power on these passes, or they're never going to get to where he needs them to go. But you put him up the pitch, those lovely, beautiful long giraffe legs, you couldn't get ball off him.
Yeah, it were like men against boys. He were gliding past players.
Yeah.
And I don't think at times he were fully fit, which affected his performances. And, you know, it was inconsistent. If he weren't inconsistent, he wouldn't have been playing for Sheffield United. But
100%, yeah.
When he were on form, he were probably the best player in the league. And I include Illiman in that just because, you know, he were unplayable, like you say. So I'm going to jump in some quick fire ones now, mate. Best game you've been to. Yeah,
best
they
game.
saw that.
Best game I've been to, bloody hell. Well, we beat Sunderland, where Vas Bocki scored that free kick.
Oh, what one to pull out. Yeah, nice.
Oh.
Favourite non-Blades YouTube channel?
Football related. Oh, that's, you see, this is difficult because apart from Sheffield United YouTube, I don't watch a lot of football YouTube. I don't like it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all very Mark Goldbridge-esque.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. I'd probably say either Smith or Away Days.
Right. Yeah. Good shouts. Favourite player ever?
Oh, Alan Kelly. Easy. Next.
Oh, really?
Easy.
Nice. Oh, old Ned.
Good old Ned. My hero as a
player.
kid. Still best keeper we've ever had, bar none. And I include people like Endo and stuff in that.
Brilliant. No, I really fond memories of Alan Kelly. That semi-final with save from unbelievable. Tricky one, this. Eki or Wilder?
Wilder.
Well, yeah, that'd have been my answer pretty quickly as well. But the old obviously quite a divisive character. People look back and think, you know, he wasted a lot of money in Premier League. He left under a cloud. What he did for our club in them 4 years will never be replicated.
Exactly.
And that's no offense to anybody that ever comes in his place, but to have a blade at the helm who got it. It weren't like a Mickey Adams or a Neil Warnock. Wilder got it. He'd been in stands with us. Yeah. He understood what it meant. That feeling for them 4 years, that ride, I don't know about you, mate, but I don't think we'll ever get it back. Just real time.
I think people look at the money the Wilder spent in the Premier League and people forget that we're making the same gambles now.
Yeah. So that's true.
If we go down, we spent a lot of money to go down. So it happens again, doesn't it? It's a case of the Premier League, unless you are top 10 money wise, every player you bring in is always going to be a gamble. And I think Wilder had 4 good years. He brought every transfer is a gamble, but he brought in a lot of good players that got us to where we are. And his luck were always going to run out because gamblers' luck always runs out.
That's right. And I think bringing Gus Amer and Cameron Archer in levels us up massively. But if we go down, Cameron Archer automatically goes back, which we know, and it's a big chance we lose Gus Amer. So, like you said, we're back to square one, really. So
exactly.
Best loan player ever?
Oh no, you can't do this to me.
I know.
Dean Henderson.
Oh,
I used to be a goalkeeper. My son's a goalkeeper. Most of my family were goalkeepers. Got to stay in that goalkeepers union, and
Okay. Fair enough. Egan or Morgan?
Morgan.
Why?
Morgan. One, Billy's mum had a crush on him, so we were always Morgan fans in our house. 2, I don't know. There's just something about an old-fashioned, no-nonsense centre-half. Look at that picture where he stood over Van Persie on floor, skiing in one. It's like, what? It's like Muhammad Ali when he stood over that bloke in his arm like that. It's iconic. Absolutely iconic. As much that, nothing against Egan. I pick a South Yorkshire accent over an Irish accent any day of the week.
Nice, fair play. Of the Shoreham View crew, who's the worst drinker?
Oh, what do you mean by worse? Drinks too much or can't
Like,
handle his booze?
Can't handle the booze.
Tom, Teagues, Thomas K, mate. Love you. 3 pints in, done. Just absolutely done.
I'll do that one up just to call someone out there.
He's about 4'1" though, so we have to lay him off. Tom, I love you. I love you, mate. I love you. Sit up, buddy.
I have to say, I thought Jonny would be in with a shout there, looking at some of the blogs, but anyway.
No, Jonny lives in a pub, so he can handle him. It's just on an away day, there's no stopping. It's just constant. This is why now, unless it's a big day like Wembley, I tend not to drink anymore. 1, I'm putting on too much weight, and 3, my health would just dying.
Okay, mate. Gibbs White or Illiman and Die?
Illiman and Die. We don't care about Gibbs White.
We don't. Who is our best signing this season?
This season? Ooh. Yeah. Oh, that's difficult because we're only a few games in.
It's between 2, surely.
Oh, I don't know how to go for. Aimer long term.
Yeah.
Aimer long term.
I won't disagree. Yeah.
Archer, brilliant, especially with what we've seen. Some games aren't going to suit him. I think. Yeah, but then Sousa's in with a shout as well. Oh, what you done to me? You know what? I'm cleaning both out of way. I can't pick between Archer and Hamer, so I'm going to go with Sousa. That's common sense.
Yeah, to be fair, he's something we have not had.
Yeah,
he's a unit. What a beast he is in that middle of that part. I think when he gets up to speed,
he's a better Mo Besic. He's a better footballing version of Mo Besic.
Is there a better Mo Besic? Anybody better than Mo Besic? You sure?
Sousa.
Last question, mate, and thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
I've really enjoyed it, mate. I've really enjoyed it.
It's great to get together and show that we're not arch enemies over YouTube. Are we staying up?
Yes.
Good man.
We are staying up.
I have to say as well, I want it on record because it's on your channel as well. You called Burnley relegation just after they'd been promoted, I think, didn't you? So
they're awful.
Season, and that's one of your calls, and I think you're going to be bang on with it. So I hope so. Anyway,
there's every chance they could turn it around, but I just don't see where it's coming from. The games we're losing against Man City 1-0, they're getting pumped. Their goal difference already looks abysmal. I don't see what they're trying to accomplish with the way they play football, and I can see them going down on record points.
I was speaking to somebody today about it actually, and I think the big loving over company, I understand it, is heir apparent to Pep. He's a Premier League legend. I get why the media wants to be all over him, but I think he's naive tactically to come up. And I'm not saying he won't adapt because he may well do, but I think he's naive to think he can come up and play football with inferior players against better teams. Listen, they've had a bad run of games. I understand that, and they might come good, like you say, but he's seen as the next big thing. And he's then. Man City have shown up and we've nearly nicked the point off them. They got pumped 3-0. And Ecky's nowhere near in league, apparently.
Because 1 is English, 2 is from South Yorkshire, 3 is Sheffield United, and we're not trying a documentary on telly. It's always baffled me. Wilder, disrespect he got when we went up first time. Madness. And what made him different to company yes, we did play the way we played football, but we were hard to break down. We weren't just a team that everybody thought, overlapping centre backs, that means they're going to throw everything at attack. No, we were solid in defence, and Burnley just don't have that. Look what we did to them. And then, every time they mention 5-2, I wish I had a pound and all them other excuses. We don't go down to you were a better team. You only had 11 men for 10 minutes. For them 10 minutes, we were all over you. Yeah,
there were no way we lose that game if we keep 11 men on pitch.
No way. Pump them. We absolutely pump them. With Billy Sharp up front.
It's madness. Mate, it's been fantastic having you on. Thanks very much. For those of you that aren't already, I'm sure you are, but please jump over to Shoreham View and get your subscribe button pressed. Thanks for joining us, Jonny. Much appreciated, pal.
Not a problem. I really enjoyed being on. If you haven't done already, please subscribe to the Blades Ramble because we're going to get to 5K by Christmas Day. Thank you for having me on, giving me this chance to talk. It's always a pleasure. I like helping everybody out, and we do need to do it more as a YouTube community. Is just appear on each other's stuff, really. Just to kind of show the love, show that we're not all against each other and all that. Before I do go, I just want to make a special shout out to everybody who's watched Shoreham View over the years. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to my family. You've really done us proud. If you haven't done already, please just take this thanks and just know that we are grateful. And thank you to Rob, Kev, everybody who supported me, Jonny especially, my kids. It sounds like we're doing like an Oscar acceptance speech, doesn't it? But I never get this chance to thank everybody. And I just want to say, without all of you, I'm nothing. I'm just a bloke sat on a computer.
Yeah, and you do a great job at it, mate. You do a fantastic job with your channel. So, yeah, thanks again for joining us, and I'll speak to you soon.
Up the Blades.
So there we have it, Blades. Jonny from Shoreham View. Thanks to him again for joining us. I'm sure you're all aware of the channel and the fantastic production quality he puts out and things like that. If you're not, for whatever reason, please go over there and show him some love. But yeah, for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the Blades. Ramble on!